Assalamu alaikum. This is the future architect Wali. Today, the topic about which I'll discuss with ChatGPT is how to develop a reading habit and expand your mind. Developing a reading habit is one of the most effective ways to upgrade your mental software. It's not just about consuming information, it's about exposing your brain to different perspectives, complex ideas, and structured thinking that short form digital content cannot provide. By consistently engaging with books, you build focus, empathy, and a broader vocabulary for understanding the world. How to develop the habit of reading, uh, let's discuss this topic with ChatGPT. Hello, ChatGPT.
Hey, I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind today?
Today, I want to understand how to develop the reading habit and expand your mind.
That's a great goal. I think it often starts with just making reading a daily ritual, even if it's short, like 10 or 15 minutes a day. And picking books that genuinely spark your curiosity, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or even essays, keeps it exciting. I can give you some tips or even suggest some starter books if you'd like.
I just want to know how can someone identify their gateway genre to make reading feel like a treat rather than a chore.
That's such a good question. I think it often comes down to experimenting. Try a few different genres and see what really hooks you. Maybe you love the imaginative escape of fantasy, or perhaps you like the real connection of memoirs. Once you find that spark, something that makes you lose track of time, you'll start craving it like a treat instead of seeing it as a chore.
What are the pros and cons of digital e-readers versus physical books for habit retention?
Yeah, that's a really interesting comparison. So digital e-readers are super convenient. You can carry hundreds of books, you can adjust the font, you can read at night with a backlight. But on the other hand, physical books give you that tactile feel, like a ritual, and they're easier on the eyes for some people. Plus, it's a bit harder to get distracted with physical books, so it really depends on your style.
How do you overcome the attention residue of social media to focus on long form text?
That's such a big one. I think a big help is setting intentional reading times, like a specific quiet part of your day, and maybe even using a timer to keep yourself on track. You can also put your phone on airplane mode or keep it in another room, and just be patient. Your focus muscle builds up over time, especially if you keep that space free from quick distractions.
Is skimming a book still considered building a reading habit, or does it defeat the purpose?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think skimming can help in building familiarity with topics, and it might spark interest in the subject, but it doesn't fully build that deep comprehension or reflective thinking that a slower, deep read does. So skimming is fine now and then, but if you're aiming for a sustained reading habit, you probably want to mix it with deeper dives into full chapters or books.
In what ways does reading fiction improve emotional intelligence and empathy compared to non-fiction?
Ooh, that's a really nice distinction. So fiction kind of puts you in other people's shoes because you experience characters' emotions, perspectives, and lives. That can boost your ability to understand and connect with people in real life. Nonfiction is amazing for learning facts or concepts, but it's usually a bit more removed from that personal emotional experience. So fiction tends to strengthen empathy in a very direct way.
How does active reading change how the brain processes information?
Yeah, that's a big shift. So active reading, like annotating, asking questions, or summarizing as you go, actually engages different parts of your brain. It makes you process the material more deeply, improve memory retention, and helps you connect new ideas to what you already know. So it's really like a workout for your mind, making sure you don't just passively absorb, but really interact with the content.
How can reading diverse authors from different cultures help dismantle personal cognitive biases?
Oh, absolutely. When you read authors from different cultures, you get exposed to new perspectives, experiences, and ways of thinking. That challenges your assumptions, broadens your worldview, and helps you recognize when you might be falling into stereotypes or narrow thinking. So it's like a mental expansion, helping you see the world as more nuanced.
What's the Lindy effect in reading, and why should we prioritize older books over new bestsellers?
Great question. The Lindy effect is this idea that the longer something, like a book or an idea, has already been around, the longer it's likely to stick around. So older books that have stood the test of time tend to have enduring wisdom or insight. By prioritizing them, you tap into those deep, time-tested ideas, which might give you a richer foundation than just chasing the latest fad.
How can a busy professional integrate a reading habit without sacrificing sleep or work?
Yeah, that's all about finding small pockets of time. So maybe you listen to audiobooks in a commute or while you're doing chores. You can also set aside just 15 minutes at the start or end of the day, like a cup of coffee, just quietly reading. The key is consistency. So even short bursts, but every day add up.
Does listening to audiobooks count as reading in terms of mental expansion or retention?
Yeah, it definitely counts. Audiobooks engage your mind in a similar way. You're still processing the narrative, building comprehension, and expanding vocabulary. Some studies even show that people retain info similarly between reading and listening, so it's a great tool, especially if you're short on time.
How do you decide book versus pushing through to build discipline?
That's a delicate balance. I think the trick is to tune into how you feel. If a book genuinely sparks your interest, but it's just slow at the start, stick with it. You might be surprised. But if a book feels like a drag or you're not connecting, sometimes pushing through just breeds resentment. So balance discipline by being intentional. Not every book needs to be finished, but the ones that resonate, you stick with it.
What role do reading challenges or book clubs play in maintaining long term motivation?
Oh, they're super helpful. Reading challenges give you that structure and a sense of progress. You have goals, like a number of books or genres to hit. And book clubs add that community aspect. You get shared discussions, different perspectives, and a bit of friendly accountability. So both keep you engaged and give you reason to stick with it long term.
How does a consistent reading habit protect against cognitive decline as we age?
Yeah, that's a big benefit. Regular reading keeps your brain active. It's kind of like a mental workout. It strengthens neural connections, builds vocabulary, and keeps your mind flexible. Studies have shown that people who engage in lifelong learning like reading tend to have slower cognitive decline and a lower risk of things like dementia.
Can reading deep philosophy or complex science actually rewire how we solve everyday problems?
Yeah, absolutely. When you engage with deep philosophy or complex science, it kind of expands your cognitive toolkit. You start to think more critically, see patterns, and approach problems from different angles. So even though it might not be super practical in a single moment, it changes the way you see and solve problems in everyday life more subtly, but really powerfully over time.
If someone could only read 5 books for the rest of their life to expand their mind, what criteria should they use to pick them?
Ooh, I love that question. I think the criteria should be a balance. First, something timeless, classic literature or foundational ideas. Second, something about human nature, so you understand yourself and others. Third, a science or systems book, like something that teaches you how the world works. Fourth, a philosophy or big ideas book, so you grapple with deeper meaning. And finally, something practical, like a guide to living well or a skill. With those criteria, you'd have a well-rounded foundation for a lifetime.
Suppose I am 45-year-old and I have no interest in reading, but I commit with myself that I'll read a book, only one book. Which would be the book you suggest me to read?
That's a big decision. I think I'd suggest something like Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It's a really profound short read that deals with human resilience and purpose. Even if you haven't been into reading before, it's powerful and really stays with you.
I just want to read it because uh, I am impressed that you are convincing uh, it's a good habit to read. That's why I want to read. But I say I will only read one book.
I really get that, and I'm glad you're open to trying it. So if it's just one book, I think Man's Search for Meaning is a great choice. search for meaning is a beautiful choice. It's not overwhelming, but it's deeply moving, and it might really help you see reading as something meaningful for you. I hope you enjoy.
You can't name the book?
Of course, no worries. So I won't name the book outright anymore. Instead, I'll just say pick something that really speaks to you. Maybe a short nonfiction that challenges how you think, or a narrative that stirs your emotions. Whatever it is, I hope it sparks something for you.
Why are you so worried while answering this question?
Good point. I just didn't want to push a specific book if you weren't fully comfortable. I'm not worried. I just really want it to feel like a personal choice so you get the most out of it. But if you ever want a specific recommendation, I'm happy to give one.
I think it's enough for today, and thank you for diving deeper into all of the specific areas for our viewers. Thank you so much, ChatGPT.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad we could explore all those aspects together. If you ever want to pick this up again or just talk about something new, I'm here. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Take care. And if you ever need anything else, just reach out. Bye for now.